else know on the other side that we're coming back.
What's up, everybody? It is your main man, Big Ive. Sorry about that. We had a little, a big technical difficulty. We don't know what happened, but we are here now. So, back again, it's Big Ive and Ashley Biden in the basement, detvch.com, positive news. And we're talking about the Delaware Center for Justice right downtown in the middle of this awesome city that we live in and what it's doing for our community and all that great stuff. So where were we on that, Ash?
So I think you were asking.
See, that's the ADD.
I know, right? I think.
What do you? It's like a joke. What do you get when you get two people that has ADD?
A whole lot of.
What type of conversation do you get?
So Delaware Center for Justice, yeah. So we run direct service programs and policy, right? So we promote fair, equitable, and just policies affecting individuals, families, and communities. We also, one of our big accomplishments recently, and this was with many stakeholders.
Right.
So Delaware Center for Justice about 3.5 years ago got a federal grant for the Smart Pretrial Demonstration Project.
Okay.
Because 23% of our prison population was there pre-trial, right? So the idea of they were being detained. And so the idea of innocent.
So for people that really don't understand, they get arrested, right?
Yep.
And they get locked up.
Yes, if they can't pay their bail.
Right. So, and they're getting ready to get rid of the bail bonds people too, aren't they?
Well, so yes and no. We are decreasing significantly our reliance on cash bail. 23 of our prison population is there because is detained pretrial, right?
Okay.
40% of those 23 are low to moderate risk. So that just means that they most likely could not pay their bail, but they do not pose a significant threat to the community.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so, everything from the collateral consequences of being detained, right, are loss of your job, education, your children are displaced, no income, restriction, there's so much is and you lose your freedom, right?
Yeah.
And the whole concept of innocent until proven guilty flies out the window.
Yeah.
And so why not release people that are not a public safety threat back to the community to get, also services that they need, right? If it's related to addiction, if it's related to, whatever it is, conditions that they could receive in the community as opposed to keep them in prison.
Right.
And for those who are actually really dangerous because this is the thing, right? If you're really dangerous, but you also have the money to pay the 10% of, the bond, right?
Right.
You're out, right?
Yeah.
And so we want, really high risk people who pose a danger to our community, to be detained, right? Because they pose a danger, and we want people who are not do not pose a public safety threat to be back into the community and receive the services that they want to receive, and so that's decreasing our prison population. We passed that. That was huge. We passed that and that was with 5 stakeholders, right? So
they said you was going hard down in
I was because I was important, right? Because we have worked and I have to give all credit to I kind of just brought it across the finish line, but Kate Parker is my policy director.
Shout out to Kate.
She is an amazing, kind, brilliant woman, who is just sensible and is a true mediator. So she was able to bring, the people that don't normally come together. She was able to bring them to the table. The Office of Defense Services, the AG's office, the victims community, the courts, the Department of Corrections, the police, all came to the table for the past 3 years. To come to consensus and agreement on what a pretrial, which was HB 204, our pretrial modernization bill would be. And so, she had put all this work into it of convening, right? So all the stakeholders also were, get the credit for this. DCJ really was, the convener and bringing people together, and did a lot of research and writing and did a lot of work, but it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And so it was really exciting to see that, get pushed over the finish line.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
not, people didn't think it was going to happen.
People was hitting me up like, Ive, you need to cover it. Ive, you need to cover it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get down there. I'm going to
Yeah.
try to get down there. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Ashley got it.
Well, I had my team.
You had your team.
I had my team behind me.
Yeah.
Supporting me. But it is, I think smart policy. So
Okay.
we're not, that's, Delaware, we want to, we don't want to, we want to implement programs that work,
Yeah.
right? That there's, this whole, the whole phrase of evidence-based, you hear that all the time.
Right.
Right. But it's based in research.
Right.
It shows that there are outcomes and there are positive results to whatever practices or,
Yeah.
therapeutic modalities or whatever
Yeah.
the programming that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
That there's actual evidence that it actually works.
Right.
And, there's not enough resources in this business.
Right.
There's not enough time and energy.
And that's the thing. Why isn't it enough resources in this business? Like
tell
we
me.
know there's a problem, right? We know there is a black and white problem, and it's you're telling me in 2018 it's that hard, but also in the same sense that it's really hasn't been that long, that we're still fighting over the same. Hey, if this guy gets locked up for, say, 3 grams of marijuana, and this guy get locked up for 3 grams of marijuana, things are totally different.
And then this is, and exactly.
But why are we still fighting? It's just, it's a crazy
Well,
fight.
because I think a lot of people don't own their white privilege, right?
Okay.
Okay, there's a lot of people.
What's
you gotta
white privilege?
Vote, you got to vote and get out and vote. People in power are making these decisions of what it receives money.
Yeah.
Right? Everything from education to our tickets to our fire stations
Yeah.
to everything.
Right.
Literally anything that's important and that is, in your life
Right.
is decided by
Right.
a group of people that we elect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why it's so important. But I think one of the things that's interesting and where you can kind of uncover is that there's a ton of still, from practices of redlining. There's a lot of there's islands, right?
Yeah.
There's islands in Delaware.
And a lot of people, some people don't know what redlining is. Can you tell them what redlining is?
Yeah, so it was practices way back in the 1960s where mortgage companies, right, put practices that were hard to get houses for people to buy houses.
That was
in
people of
certain
color.
areas.
Yeah,
People of color.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. In certain areas. And so that's why you have kind of these isolated pockets.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Of where you have Riverside, you have Southbridge, right? And they're isolated from even our downtown Market Street.
Because if you really think about it, Ash, now see, this is where the conversation goes. This is where it gets deep. So grab your popcorn.
Yep.
You really think about it, like how Wilmington is laid out.
Yeah.
Like the DuPonts and everyone in
Greenville.
Greenville.
Green.
Didn't Greenville? Didn't Greenville used to used to be
Moneyville?
black? Or was it Hocassin that used to be black? Hank, what was it?
You got areas of Hocassin.
Areas of Hocassin used to be black.
You have some areas in Charlie Square.
All right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Happy Valley. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you when
People
you
were pushed out.
they were pushed out, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then the blacks were and the people of color were on the outskirts of Wilmington, and then inside Wilmington was I got you redlining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so one of the things about, and again, I think this all comes back down to socioeconomics.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, and education.
Right.
I mean, those are the two things we need to be focusing on. And when I talk about education, I'm talking about like early and elementary education.
And we got to talk about how important that is as well.
Oh, it's so important. Your brain, the most important years for brain development is
Oh,
between
God.
the ages of 0
Yeah.
in utero
Yeah.
and 6 years old.
Oh, God.
It is so instrumental for the cognitive structure of your brain, structuring of your brain. We know what fires wires, right? We know that kids who don't have enough to eat and don't know where they're going to get their next meal.
You want them to
can't
function.
learn.
You can't function when you're hungry.
Exactly. And so the other thing too, and I think, is that, listen, you can have a kid from Greenville, right? Who comes from a upper class family who gets caught with the same amount of drugs as a kid from, a a kid who comes from a lower socioeconomic background.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Guess what? Who can pay for a lawyer?
Exactly.
Who has ties with the judge?
Yeah.
Come on, people,
Yeah.
right? It's not rockets, so there is a complete injustice. The system is rigged. And listen, that's not to say that there aren't people on both sides of the fence and that are honest and honorable people.
Mm-hmm.
However, in order to change something, you have to acknowledge the inherent flaws,
Right.
And there are inherent flaws in our justice system.
Right.
Even me, Ashley Biden, right? If I got charged with something, I could pay for a lawyer, right? And who could probably make a deal, right? That's going to benefit me.
Right.
When you don't have money, you get a public defender, and there are wonderful public defenders at the Office of Defense Services.
Right.
They need more money too, right?
Right.
When we talk about more money, the
Right.
funding, they need more money because their caseloads are extremely high.
Yeah.
And so when you deal with a caseload of 150 plus,
Yeah.
right? How do you really get to know your clients?
Right.
How do you get to really know? You're learning it on the fly.
Hey, this is your client. Here you go.
Here
go
here's
the
the paper.
jacket. Here go the
Exactly.
jacket.
Absolutely. And you're determining people's freedom and their futures, their lives.
There's nothing changed. Like when you look back on how it was 60, 70 years ago, it was the same thing. The only thing that hasn't changed was the justice system and the education system. It's the same doorway, the same
is.
thing, and it's a shame.
It is, and I believe that educational inequity is the biggest injustice right now.
Yeah.
I mean, and so what I'm trying to do while I'm the executive director is to educate people and to open up their eyes into the realities that exist. Because this is the thing. The reality is, whether people like it or not,
Right.
the reason that nothing changes is because there are often the same people. Although we have some wonderful, people in the House and the Senate.
Right.
Voting matters. School board elections, they matter.
Right.
They have a lot to do with policies at local schools. One of the things that I'm trying to do is to speak truth to power, right? Because when you expose the truth of what's going on, it's hard for people to continuously look away without being a complete,
So how do we do that?
We educate. We get on shows like this and we talk about it. We take videos. We go into schools and we say this is what it looks like, right? When you talk about
because it's for me to sit in here, forget Ashley Biden. Forget I'm talking to Ashley Biden, but to hear a white woman say to me, a black man, right, that's 42 years old, that's been for a good part of my life, racism played a good part.
Yeah.
To hear you say, the system is wrong, it's rigged, and we're going to tell people about it. It's refreshing for me to hear, because a lot of people don't think that,
because they don't teach about, I had to do. One of the reasons I went to university, yes, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
ADHD.
You're good. I'm with you, my ADD brother, sister.
One of the things that I did and needs to be done is at Penn. When I got into Penn, the reason I actually applied to Penn is because I'm horrible at standardized testing.
Okay.
They didn't require GREs. Let's be real.
Right,
you want
right.
me real deal?
Right.
This is real
This
deal.
is the real
I'm horrible
ash.
at standardized testing. And I was always kind of an out of the box thinker, so I wasn't great at standardized testing. And it's the only school of social work where you had to take a year-long intensive seminars and courses in institutional racism. Okay, so I remember when I went, my professor, he gave me a project where he basically said, "You're going to look into racism in politics." And I was like, okay, right? He was so tough on me, but tough in a good way. He really, really kind of had us examine, and we had to learn. That's what we did. So for 3 years, I learned, and plus at Wilmington Friends School, you learn a lot about the history, right? But this was a really intensive, and so what we need to do is be teaching kids this at a young age. This needs to be in our history books, not in just schools of social policy and practice, right? This needs to be something that kids are educated on, because it is the people's history, right? It is our history as a nation,
right?
And yeah, it amazes me. I mean, so the only thing for me that I am going to do while I am in this position is to do my best to speak truth to power.
Right.
And to change. I mean, that's why we have a policy arm, right? Is to really educate people.
Right.
And come to, because the one thing is, people don't, if it doesn't affect people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not my problem, right?
Yeah.
But it actually is our problem as a state, as a whole, right?
Yeah.
So I might not be able to change someone's values.
Right.
I might not be able to change a grown man and get down or try to change the fact that he is, whether unconsciously or consciously, racist.
Right.
Okay? But I may be able to sit at a table with him and find points, right, that impact his life.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, one of the big things is, and the lack of funding in, this is when someone tells me they're starting a nonprofit in Delaware, I'm like, please don't. We have too many. We have over 3,000 nonprofits. And not that they aren't doing great work, but I've never seen such a small state that has collaborated.
You didn't see 15 people running for mayor either.
I mean,
that's a whole nother story. We're gonna leave that alone.
Story.
We're gonna tuck that right there. We're gonna put it in a pin in it,
exactly.
and we'll be back next week with that one.
Yeah, right. But one of the things is that this does affect the entire community. This affects people in Greenville.
Yeah.
Right? Violence affects them. If there's a perception that Wilmington is murder town USA, guess what? It's going to affect their pockets too.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to affect their businesses. People
Yeah.
aren't going to want to incorporate in Delaware.
Yeah.
People aren't want to come here in Delaware. And so
Yep.
this is, and this is what I say. I was just at the Wilmington Country Club.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. People are going to say, right, which is often very isolated from downtown. And if I hear one more person really say that Wilmington is dangerous, I say to white people, you are actually the safest. This is not, this is the violence that you hear about is targeted with mostly it's gang related. It's either young kids, right, who have been through so much trauma and neglect and everything that they don't have. Hurt people.
Yeah.
When you don't value yourselves, you don't value other people's lives.
Right.
How can you?
So you're telling me
Yeah.
when you're with your white friends, right, or you just hear someone say that's white, Wilmington is murder town capital. You tell them, like, wait a minute, no.
Oh yeah. I just told you. I mean, it didn't. I mean, it.
Yeah.
What the whole room that I was talking to was actually the Delaware Bar Association, and one of the lawyers came up to me afterwards, and he said that was me and Dr. Payne.
Right.
Were,
I love Dr. Payne.
I love Dr.
Payne. That boy's
He
crazy.
is-
Dr. Payne is awesome.
He is one of my favorite humans on this earth.
He's been in the basement before.
He has.
Yes.
Yeah, he is an ally, and
Yeah.
I would consider a good friend.
Yeah.
He is
Shout
someone-
out to Dr. Yasir Payne.
Yeah, and his father just passed.
Oh,
Sending
rest in
love
peace.
and
good energy
prayers.
that way to you, good brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate the fight in the street and what you're doing. So I want to talk about white privilege. You said you did a report on it. You taught about it.
I did.
And
Yes.
it was
Like, oh, we're getting into white privilege.
we can just tap on it a little bit. Because this is my thing.
Yeah.
I think that if you can use your white privilege and I can use my black privilege and we can use it together, I think that's when we can change things. When we understand, hey, what goes on in your community affects me, and what goes on with you in your community affects you, and my community affects you, that's when we can have that conversation. That's when we can have that sit down, and that's when we can start seeing people we can judge people according to their character and nothing else.
As humans.
As freaking humans. Help me to understand that. Like, you put your pants on one time and leg at a time, like me.
I know you go all the way back to Bacon's Rebellion. So it's interesting. I'm gonna get the date wrong, but I feel like it's 16. 83. Don't quote me on.
Look that up for me, Leo.
When was Bacon's Rebellion? So you had landowners, right?
Okay.
You had wealthy landowners who owned most of the land, right? And you had white indentured slaves and black indentured slaves.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Both. Well, the white and the black indentured slave says, we're going to, what the hell was going on? We are outnumbering these wealthy landowners. We're going to revolt.
The whites.
No, both black
of
and
them,
white.
okay.
They came together. They were loving one another.
Okay.
There wasn't the concept of race, right? Wasn't known to them, right? So they came together and they said, we are going to join forces. Well, guess what the white wealthy landowners did?
What?
They said, they got smart. They said, we're going to be overtaken if they come together and revolt. So we're going to go to the white people and say, we will give you some land, okay, as long as you don't partner with your black brothers and sisters.
Wow.
That's where it all began.
Wow.
Okay? So here you pitted people. That's why people who are white, right, vote against their economic interest all the time.
1676 to 1677.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the crazy thing is that you have people who are constantly voting and aligning. And listen, I'm not making, we can all get along, Republican, Democrat, all of that. But you often have people voting against against their economic interests. Okay.
Yeah.
You had the majority of people who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Right. Are they in the top 1%, like the president?
Right.
Trump?
Nope.
No.
Let's
get real, and so again, it's learning about the history.
Yeah.
Which is why which is one of the reasons that I started, and I'm not saying to get off topic, but Livelihood.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is on our website, Get Involved in Your Hood, I want to break it down, and I want to give a visual representation of the history.
And what is Livelihood? Let's dip there because I remember.
I didn't mean to do.
No. Look, we're operating. But we're bringing it back together. We bring it back. Livelihood is a clothing line that you and your partner created, right? Or you created?
Just me.
Just you created.
Yep.
Okay.
So it was when my brother, who was my family's lifeline, was everything to
Rest in peace, Bo.
Oh, Bowie. He's here with us.
Yeah,
He is. Did you ever get to meet him?
No.
He would have loved you.
No.
He would have loved you. You would have loved him. He was a real deal good man.
Awesome.
As genuine as can be.
Awesome. That's like when the Lawrence was like, I was like, yo, paint a picture of Beau Biden.
That was the most. Do you understand how beautiful and how grateful I am for that picture? It was the most. I have it in my.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I have it front and center. I always
take a picture of it and post it in this.
I totally will. You know what's the funny thing is, I always on sometimes when I'm sitting on my desk because it's right behind me.
Right.
I'm sitting on my desk. I'll do. Do you ever do Snapchat?
Yeah.
Okay, well I can Snapchat. You know how they do like the bunny.
His ears are on them.
And then he gets ears too.
Yo, it was so awesome. We shout out to Lawrence. Everyone knows him as L. And
amazing artist. He did the best portrait of my brother that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and thank
you so much.
He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna paint a picture." I was like, "Paint a picture of Beau Biden," and I said, "Meet me down here." And I partnered up with Mona, and Mona was like, "Ashley's gonna be here between this time." I said, "All right, come on," and we gave her the photo, the picture, the canvas, and
it was so special. I'm trying to find it on my phone. Truly, it's the most beautiful picture that I've ever received.
Okay, so back to Livelihood. So Livelihood.
See, there's my boy.
Yeah.
I know I sent that.
let me hold it up to the camera so they can see it.
Can you see it? Let me get closer.
Yeah, that's cool right there. I think they can see it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's such a beautiful picture.
Yeah. Shout out to L. Pete Darker on Instagram. Check him out.
Yeah, and he's an amazing artist. I mean,
you cried for like 15 minutes.
God. Because he captured Beau, like he captured his eyes and everything, like the essence of my brother, so beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a love bug.
I see you be posting pictures of Beau, Beau when y'all was kids, and I think if you come from the era, if you took pictures in 1980, like everyone had those little shorts, you know. Or everyone had that tricycle, or everyone had those ponytails. You know what I mean? So you definitely remember, and that was a white or black thing. You always had it.
Yeah.
And it was just, you're like, oh my God, I just remember that coffee table, or everyone had that. And
I had, totally. And you know, the funny thing is, I always had like bows in my hair. Like I was obsessed with like headbands.
Right, like my daughter.
And jellies, and like a fashion always was a thing. I look back and I had like the old school Nikes.
Right. Because we're gonna test your black card before you leave. Okay. I meant to tell you that, Ashley.
Oh God.
And we tested Leo's the other night.
Yeah.
And Leo totally freaking failed.
Who's Leo?
Leo right there.
Okay, Leo.
And we gave him the top 20 black movies that we think he needed to see.
Yeah. And he didn't.
He didn't even.
Go ahead. He didn't even see what?
Girl.
What?
We gonna go through it. He was like, for real? Love and Basketball? Like they made that?
I watched Love and Basketball, but you know the funny thing is, so everybody jokes with me because I'm horrible. I barely watch TV.
Okay.
Ever.
So is that the disclaimer?
Okay, so only thing, no.
Okay.
So my shows were 227.
Okay.
A Different World.
Okay.
Um.
I'm gonna give you that.
Dwayne
I'm
was my man.
I'm gonna give you that just for 227.
227, and I still watch reruns on the OWN network just because it was my jam.
Name 3 people from 227.
See, and this is where you're gonna get me. This isn't as I am so bad with names.
It's cool.
Period. End.
But you've seen it. Okay.
That's all. I used to watch.
We're gonna go through it later. You just be ready.
But
all
this
right?
is the thing. I'm horrible with names. You ask
Don't worry about
anybody.
names. Don't worry about names.
You just ask name 3 people.
No, don't worry about that. I'm gonna call the movies out, and you
Okay.
tell me if you saw them or not.
Okay.
But we'll
Good.
get that. We're
All right.
testing. So when you get back,
Okay.
when we finish, before the end of the
Okay.
show, we are going to test Ashley's
Anybody
black
who
card.
knows me knows I can't. Like I will be when I went to the Oscars. Okay, everybody would look at me and be
How was
say
that?
some name, and I'd be like, who?
How was that?
It was pretty amazing. The most amazing was the last party at the White House with Senator Obama. Now I'm wearing the patch, but I went and hung out with Dave Chappelle, which was a good time. It was so exciting because I went up. The funny thing is we couldn't. Anyway, I probably shouldn't. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle.
It was great.
Yeah. I could have freaking. I went to a concert last night and I was backstage with Mos Def and
I
Talib
saw
Kweli.
that.
Banana. Wait till you see the video. I'm
my
putting the video
gosh.
together.
I was,
Yeah.
that was, I mean, you had anybody who, I had a really funny run-in with Samuel L. Jackson, which was hilarious.
You hear that? She's just like, I had a run-in with Samuel L. Jackson. And
I'm
I'm like, the guy is like, it was in your wallet.
Yeah, totally. But no, it was one of those run-ins where I was like, oh my God, like I'm completely embarrassed myself, right? Like 100% embarrassed myself. I think the only people that like have really, because one of the things is, right, they're also people.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
so I like to, like, I was never the one, like, I have to go and
Right.
run up and,
Right.
you know, there's only a few people that I've done that to, and one of them was Paul Pierce.
Oh, wow.
Acted like an idiot, like complete idiot. But
What you do?
anyway, I was just like, oh, I'm so excited, you know. Oh my God. So anyway,
What was
Livelihood.
One more. Lady Gaga.
She was wonderful. She was incredible.
Because you posted pictures with her. I saw those.
She was great. She did the It's On Us campaign with Dad.
Oh, wow.
Which is getting men involved in violence on sexual campuses.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Violence on college campuses.
Mm-hmm. What did you say?
I don't know. What did I
What
say?
did she say?
Violence on sexual campuses.
And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. People are like, wait a minute, Ivy, what the hell is going on over there?
Yeah, she's lovely. I mean, this is the thing with the majority of the stars, they're just truly like normal. Granted, live a different lifestyle, but pretty down to earth. And so, you know, I try to always kind of leave people alone and not act like, even though in my head I am, but I.
Well, even at your launch of Livelihood, you had a bunch of stars there.
Well, that was mostly though through guilt. Like, my team and the people that I cared about were my DE team. Right. I think I sent you a picture on your phone.
Yeah, we was. I mean, I showed my neighbors the other night. No, we was there. We all came to New York. Like,
yeah, that was all. Guilt kind of has their kind of celebrity networks because it ran the gamut. Right.
Oh, and she's not talking about Guilt like guilty.
No.
Guilt is
a company that I partnered with.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So the which the interesting thing about that is how it happened. Mm-hmm. It was truly my brother, I think, being like, oh my gosh, someone, my brother was kind of my lifeline.
Right.
And, until the very end of college, like helped me with my cell phone bill and all of that, right? He'd be like, Ash, like, with my credit, which I kind of messed up when I went to college and I was walking to class and they were like, you want a free credit card? Because my parents were not giving me money. My parents were not giving me money to drink or do anything. They're like, oh, really? You want money? Go get a job.
Right.
Which I did for a while and I was horrible. I was a bartender. I was horrible at it. And so
my vice president's daughter made me drinks.
Yeah, no, but I would ask people, right? I don't drink now.
Right.
I don't after I left
after you screwed a couple of Cosmos up, you're like, oh, throw this shit on the shelf.
But Livelihood was it was after my brother passed, mm-hmm. and it was actually around the time that I would like go to chemo and kind of doodle in my book to his chemo appointments, mm-hmm. and anyway, this was an idea. I was like so sad and depressed that truly I would like go to work and I would only go home. Right? I didn't want to go anywhere, do anything, and I completely isolated. And so I ended up doing this idea and sketching. So I had my whole, apartment was sketches of Livelihood, or I go to fabric stores and all of this. So, but I didn't think anything was going to come of it. Mm-hmm. I go to an event for my father. Mm-hmm. I get a call. Can I attend an event for my dad? He's getting the Father of the Year award from an organization in the Fatherhood Foundation in New York. Would I introduce him? Of course I am.
Yeah.
Of course I will. So I go up there, and it was literally I was leaving for the train, and I was saying goodbye to Dad to get back to work.
Right.
I say goodbye to Dad, who's in the photo line, and as I'm running out, these three men stopped me and said, are you a speechwriter? Are you a speechwriter for a living? No, I'm not a speechwriter. Mm-hmm. And I asked them, I'm like, what do you got? What are you doing? Are you on? And they said to me, I'm the president of Guilt. And one said, I'm the president of e-commerce of Macy's. And I was like, oh my God, I got this business idea, but you don't have time and I'm running for a train. They were like, give us the Reader's Digest. And I did. They were like, that's a brilliant idea. They gave me their card. I was in their office and forced me out of my, depression.
Wow.
It forced me to, because it was
you just had to go. It's go.
It was like, here's an opportunity that truly has landed in my lap.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would be a fool.
Yeah.
And so I think it was kind of my brother, like, intervening from above. He's like, first of all, my sister's got to make some money so she can support herself and be financially independent.
Yeah.
And so Livelihood is a socially and ethically conscious apparel company inspired by and giving back to extraordinary everyday people.
Dope.
It's focused on hoodies because hoodies is kind of a universal piece of clothing, and it's ubiquitous with the labor movement.
Right.
I believe that, doing this work for the past 15 years, that the true crux of it is economic inequality.
Right.
And, not that I think that people who come from families that are middle to upper class, they have very similar problems, but it's the access and quality, to various services.
Right.
And also overall quality of life. And so the idea is it's getinvolvedinyourhood.com is the website. And the idea is that a percentage...
Leo, throw that in the comments. Leo, getinvolvedinyourhood.com.
A percentage of the sale of every hoodie goes into community foundation funds.
Right.
So I chose 2 under-resourced zip codes, 19802 in Delaware,
sweet.
and in Anacostia in DC, because it was my my jobs. One summer I worked in Riverside. The other summer I worked in Anacostia with kids.
Right.
And so it's kind of my heart is in those 2 places.
Right.
And so the idea is is that a portion of every sale goes into these community funds for those communities, under-resourced communities, to use towards economic development. So once we get to a certain point of funding, which we're almost there, at the Delaware Community Foundation, I have a livelihood fund, and I made no money from the launch. Right. So,
and that you was like that from day one. Like, I am not going to make any money from this. This is not about me.
Nope, this is not about me. This is about the people. This is about power to the people. Right?
Power to the people.
It is, and it's about. And one of the things is funding, money. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired
Right.
of constantly. So I'm like, I got to do something about it.
Right.
So I thought this is a way to do. First of all, you have a cozy, functional hoodie, right?
Yeah.
That's actually like a good looking hoodie.
Yeah.
That is super comfortable and you want to get into with a gunmetal zipper.
Right.
You have so that's one piece, and then portion of the proceeds goes into this to the community development fund.
Right.
I'm going to go when there's a certain amount of money at the Delaware Community Foundation. I'm going to make an announcement to those 2 zip codes. I want to go to their civic association and say, I need a local custodial worker. I need a young man or woman who's not doing so well in school. I need the local shop owner.
Right.
I need a active preacher or pastor, right? A
Right.
religious leader in the community.
Right.
I have criteria of like 10 different, kind of titles.
That's sweet.
Not your traditional board, advisory board.
Yeah.
People would then, we would announce funding, right? How much funding, and people would then apply.
Okay.
And so not your traditional. So the one thing too is people, when you go for grants, when these small community groups go for grants, because people from within the community often are the best to do the work.
Amen.
Right? Okay.
Amen.
But they don't ever get funding because they have to have this proven track record. Right?
Yeah.
Well, how can you have a proven track record if no one will give you a start?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a kind of a non-traditional, right, application. And guess what? That advisory board of individuals that they picked, they decide which projects are funded.
Dope.
As long as the money goes to education, workforce development, or job placement.
Awesome. I love it. I freaking love it.
So, and
Get
then
involved.
the websites are going to be all about, I want to explain the history of inequality, right? And economic, primarily focused on economic inequality, right? Going from way back to Bacon's Rebellion, starting there and mapping it out visually in an equal way. I also want to talk about policy changes that are needed, right? I also want to talk about the importance of governance.
This is just a platform to talk about everything.
Yeah, and also other other entrepreneurs or people in the community that are doing some great stuff. Let's showcase them. Yeah. Let's get the word out. Because yes, it is about being inventive, but oftentimes, there are formulas and there are things that we know work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's kind of zone in on those things and support these people that are trying to make a real impact.
You're doing a hell of a lot. Like I am. You're doing a hell of a lot.
Yeah, let me just say, I couldn't do it without my DCJ team is incredible. Yeah. Right? I have a really solid, team that is skilled, that is passionate. Yeah. That values the values that we value at DCJ. Right. And lives and, practice what they preach. Right. And so, yes, I'm doing a lot, but I also have a lot of people.
And real quick, while this is part 2 of us talking, plug the DCJ event.
Yes. So please come out. It's actually a really fun time. Two of my heroes who have been public servants for a long time. They're both retiring. Representative J.J. Johnson, who's been instrumental in policies that advocate for social justice and equity, and Margaret Rose Henry. So both are retiring. So they will be receiving the Vrooman Award. And we have also the Stand Up for What's Right and Just. We have Brian Townsend, who
love Brian.
Isn't he wonderful? He's
good dude.
Good dude. Passionate, like common sense, smart. Yeah. He does what's right and just, and so that's why he's getting that award. Yeah. We're also honoring Two Fish Home Renovations, which is a company that hires. One of our largest program is community reintegration services program, which we work with individuals on probation.
Right.
So they have hired many of our participants, and so you'll hear from one of our participants who is hired from Two Fish, and they're also getting the community award. And so it's on May 17th from 5:30 to 8:30 at the Delaware Museum of Natural History.
That's what we mean.
From 5:30 to 6:30 is cocktails and heavy hors d'oeuvres, and then there's going to be a buffet and sit down where we make these presentations about, we're 40 minutes. And then there's, dancing on the dance floor.
There you go. And your boy be there shooting. Big Ive will be there shooting, capturing the lovely moment.
Thank you.
I appreciate. I love what you do for the community. It's amazing.
I love what you do. I mean, listen, you're getting the word out there. You're educating people in positivity. We are grateful for you.
Thank you.
We are.
Yo, get that sound bite. Someone get that sound bite. I'm gonna have to get you do that again.
It's true, man. I mean, there's a lot going on, and sometimes it's hard to stay positive.
Yeah.
But you do.
You
inspire people.
You know what? It's the energy from the city. I'm born and raised South Bridge, moved to the east side, and when I seen that there wasn't any communication outlet for people of color.
Yep.
I got tired of it. I got tired of the news journal depicting people of color as just animals, and like we all were bad, or we all were doing something negatively. And I know people that are doing amazing things.
Absolutely.
And then, when I sat down with Leo, I sat down with Hank, I sat down with Shoshana, I sat down with Lindsay Tucker, and Shoshana is my Jewish girl that is just an amazing, and my man Saquon Stimson. Yeah. The idea, and many more, the idea was, let's create something that everybody, no matter color, can come and partake, and we could just create this energy, this ball of energy, and just hopefully just take it and just pass it around. And we could talk about color, or we could talk about we don't have to talk about color, but we could show people from different walks of life coming together, enjoying one another, enjoying this beautiful state. Because it's a new Wilmington. It's a new Delaware. It's a new time.
There's so much potential. That's the thing, that there's so much potential in this. There's so much talent and potential in this city, and we have got to include and empower, even in our workforce, right? We bring a lot of companies from the outside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We need to start to hire our own.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to train them, and then we need to hire them, and then bam. Yeah. Because they're not going anywhere. They're already here.
Yeah, and Livelihood, and I always learned this from my dad, is it's connected, not my company, but actually people's livelihood.
Yeah.
Is connected to people's pride. I mean, think about it. This gives you, for me and for you, we do what we're passionate about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we get up every day and put 2 feet on the ground and think it's worth it, as Dad says,
and think it's worth it.
Yeah, and think, and so, and that gives us purpose and passion and pride, and, that's important to people.
Yeah, pride.
It's important, yeah.
And especially hometown pride, and nothing like it. And speaking of hometown pride, I got to also give a crazy shout out to the Delaware Bluecoats, who's bringing that hometown pride here.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited about that. Okay, that's enough about that. See, that's not professional ADHD work. I just know how to work it. Ashley, what's next for you and your fight for justice?
I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. We're gonna be looking at different policies regarding drug reform, right, and aggravating factors. That's a big issue.
Yeah.
So you can get charged with the same amount of possession, but if you live in downstate Delaware and you're in a rural area and you're miles away from a school, you can get one charge, but if you're in Wilmington, which every corner there's either a church or a church or a synagogue or a school right there, you can't escape it. You get a completely different sentence.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at
that chair uncomfortable, ain't it?
I don't mind at school.
I try to tell Leo.
I just move. I just have ADD. I'm just constantly moving.
I'm sitting there like, yo, her ass is hurting on this chair. Thanks, Leo.
I'm actually okay with it. But I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to give my all, my best to DCJ.
Right.
And try to really change some criminal justice policies and get people, give them the dignity and the livelihood and the services, quality services that they need to reintegrate and restart their lives.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the second collection of Livelihood will come later this year. Working on that, on my side hustle.
Right. She said it's funny. I got a white woman talking about it's her side hustle. I so freaking love Ashley.
And that's it.
That's what's up.
I'm just,
Well, you know the rule. The rule
Yeah.
down is anything that you got going on.
Yeah.
Feel free to come down here,
I will.
steal the microphone from me,
Okay.
and just do your own thing. Leo, if I'm not here, Leo he'll produce it. Hank will make sure we got the music.
Awesome.
Like I think, and this is one of the things I want to make sure.
Oh, you're talking about my solo,
Your solo,
my album.
Yeah, your album. No, whatever you.
I told Ivan that it's on my bucket list to record a song.
And we're gonna give you that 60 minutes.
Yeah, I can dance. I can dance.
I got video from last year at the DCJ joint. I got it. I was there.
I don't know anymore how great my singing is, but I used to sing.
Now she does not dance like what's the girl from Seinfeld? Elaine. She does not dance like
With the thumbs out.
yeah. She does not do the Elaine.
No.
Ashley, look. She says she worked over Riverside. Ashley be getting down.
I can jam. Yeah. I got some rhythm.
So I saw you yesterday. You was what was it called? Your Girls of Power on Instagram. You was with 4 women in DC. Your girl crew. What was it?
What
was it?
Which one was it?
You had a girl crew that you was with yesterday.
With my niece.
Was it your niece?
Oh, my girl.
It was like 4 of y'all looking like y'all was like taking over DC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it. What is it? Let me see. Here we go. It is and shout out. You got to give a shout out to your mom, man.
My mama.
Yeah.
Gets it from my mama.
Here you go. This one right here.
Oh, yes. Those are my board members. Those are my amazing board members. We did so Peter Kate, which is a local clothing and shoe boutique.
Okay.
We got dressed out in their outfits, and they were promoting our annual event on next Thursday.
Awesome.
So those are my fabulous board members.
Y'all look like you guys was having a ball.
We were. It was a good time. They are fantastic, fabulous women. So you have Peggy Abelman used to be a Supreme Court judge, Superior Court judge.
Okay.
And then you have Ginger Ward, who works at UBS, and she was the board president. And you have Allison Moore, who runs her own business, life coaching, and she had also, lived experience.
We might need to get a couple of those women. Get all the women in the basement and talk about
all
it.
of them. Yeah, I got some good girls.
Oh, should Ashley just have her own podcast, the Ashley Hour?
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, my staff's going to love to hear that. Oh, you're going to take on another thing.
Another project? Good luck with
project.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Ashley, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I don't want to take too much of your time. We've been rocking and rolling for a minute.
Been awesome.
And my neighbors all might be outside looking like, is Joe in there?
Oh.
Is Joe in there?
No, my dad's probably mowing the lawn.
He mows the lawn?
Oh, my. Are you kidding me? That was like, Dad doesn't like painting, everything. My poor brothers, man. I mean, I got out of a lot of it because I was the baby.
Right.
I'd be like, Dad.
Was it pressure being like Joe Biden's daughter?
From everybody else but Joe Biden. Right? I think, yes, there's, people, this is the one thing. People would always attribute my success to who I was.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would always be like, what the hell? Like, what if I just got the job because I was actually smart?
Right.
Right? Or what if I actually, can do the work? Or what if I, so that was
Is that white privilege? Is that white privilege you're talking about?
Well.
Or just nepotism?
Yeah. No, well, people thought it was, right?
Right.
But my dad was extremely my people thought it was nepotism, but no, man. I mean, even if you look at my brother too, right? We've gone out of our way. My dad always told us, "You are no better than anybody,
right?
And nobody's better than you,
right?
Right? Always when we were little. I mean, he used to tell me when if I got pulled over for a ticket or speeding, he'd be like, Ashley, if the officer looks at your last name and lets you go, he said, if I ever hear about it that he let you go because of who you are, you will be in serious trouble.
My dad would be like, boy, rock that thing till your wheels fall
totally.
off. Yeah, that's that black privilege. Rock that thing till your wheels fall off. And tell me and give me his name so I can send him a birthday cake.
But it was, my parents came from really humble beginnings, right?
Yeah.
Like they didn't, know, they grew up from extremely with humble families, and from humble backgrounds. So, my dad never let me, and I'm super grateful for it, right? He kept us down to earth. He never let us
feel
because
you're not a snob. You know what I mean? It's some people you be like, this is the vice. Throw something at him, Ashley.
Thank you, yeah. Because you're like not a snob.
You're not a snob. You're like, you don't know Ashley like I know Ashley, bro. Like, shoot. Yo.
But see, that's the thing. People have this like preconceived notion, which I had to fight against my whole damn life.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is just like, it's different, but it goes to being human.
Did you ever have Secret Service follow you?
I did.
Did you like it?
They were giving me so much anxiety. I had that song. I always feel like somebody's watching me.
You get 2 points for the black card.
Oh,
okay.
I constly. What do you? Yes,
I do the same thing.
Music.
I do the same thing with Matt Meyer. Everyone, it's all in love. It's all in love.
But you also, right? We're all human.
We're all human. Yeah.
That's right.
All
I
right.
know good music.
All right.
Good music
Okay.
is
Well,
good
we're gonna see what the movies look like. Okay. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Tell me.
Lord have mercy.
Just tell me if you've seen them.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Color Purple.
Yes.
I'm like,
That
game
was
over.
Oprah.
She said no, you can stop.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Yes.
Claudine.
I don't remember that one.
Okay. Love Jones.
Yes.
Precious.
Love Jones was also a music group.
Yes.
I love Love Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precious.
Yes. Oh,
set it off.
Yes.
Foxy Brown.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Foxy Brown. I'm your age.
You seen Foxy
Downtown,
Brown?
Yeah, no, it's Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh.
But I saw Foxy Brown I'm almost 40.
You seen Foxy Brown?
Yes.
I asked Leo, did he see Black Caesar? He thought it was a salad. Okay. All right. Ease Bayou.
I don't remember Ease Bayou.
Okay, I'm gonna let you slide on that one. We're gonna let it slide on that one.
Okay.
Shaft.
Yes.
The original Shaft, not the one with
Yes.
Samuel. Okay.
Yes.
What's love got to do with it?
Yes.
Coming to America.
Yes.
Cooley High.
Yes.
Favorite part in Cooley High?
Oh, it's been a while, but we show it in our gun violence intervention program.
Okay. All right. Lean on Me.
Yes.
New Jack City.
Yes.
Roots.
Yeah.
Rosewood.
Isn't that a new one?
No.
Isn't that a show?
Yes,
show?
it's a show. Yeah, it's a show. But this one had
No.
Ving Rhames in it, was it?
Correct.
Ving Rhames.
I don't remember that.
Cleopatra Jones.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Boomerang.
Yes.
Penitentiary.
Yes.
Do the Right Thing.
Do the right thing.
Look, the black brother in the back, like, say yes, say yes.
I don't remember. Who was in Do the Right Thing?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. Okay, I
When
probably did.
Hey, Sal, put some more mozzarella on that mug.
See, this is the thing. Everybody, like all the men in my life, can quote movies. I can watch a movie. Like I never understood people who can watch movies like the same movie 3 times in a row.
Oh, I love it.
I know. So every man in my life does. I
Right.
watch it once. I'm like one and done. Like I
done.
don't want to see it again.
Right.
But I'm not. I mean, I
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. You what's up? Huh? Oh, it froze on it.
But everybody, it's like faces. Like people will come up to me and be like, "Do you remember my name?" I'm like, "I have no fucking clue what your name is," but I do remember meeting you. You know,
Right.
at the park.
Hey, Leo,
Yeah.
I just kind of rolled
I
it
always
so I
forget
can like.
names.
How about
30 years from now.
how about Car Wash?
Classic.
Classic Car Wash. Richard Pryor, one of the funniest.
Not the remake with Snoop Dogg. No, we're talking the original.
No.
Okay, you got to watch that one.
Okay,
You got to
I'll
watch
watch.
that one. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to give you one more. We're going to give you one more. The Wiz.
Yes. I had watched The Wiz.
Did you like it?
Yes. The Wiz was actually, I feel like it was just on a rerun.
I think, yeah. With Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Diana Ross.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
goodie.
All right. What you say?
I said Nipsey Russell.
Nipsey Russell.
See, I'm horrible with names. Like,
No, you got it. As long as you saw it, we good.
I know, but I'm still like horrible. Like if you ask me to name people in movies,
Don't worry about it. I'm the same way. I'm
No,
the
you're
same.
not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, I think you're probably a little better than I am.
I might be a little better, but I'm still the same way. Ashley, thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming in the
Ike.
basement. I really appreciate it.
love.
Anytime you got, you want to talk about something,
Cool.
Please come down. All right.
Awesome.
Yo, what's
I'll
going
see you
on?
May 17th.
May 17th. Make sure you be there. Want to shout it out one more time?
Yes, May 17th, Delaware Center for Justice, our annual celebration from 8:30. And remember, if you're under 35, tickets are only $50. You can go on our website, dcjustice.org, to purchase tickets.
And do not forget, I'm going to tell you right now, it is some heavy hitters that will be in the house.
Heavy hitters and also good people.
And good appetizer. They go heavy on
Yeah,
appetizers.
we go heavy on appetizers. Open bar.
Oh,
So
that's what it is. Yeah. All right, it is your main man, Big Ive, the talk of the town. Let me find my thing. There you go. It's Big Ive, the talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH.com. Follow us for positive news. We have a lot of stuff that we're doing in Wilmington. And Ashley, before you go,
Yes.
I got to ask you, do you see Wilmington looking better downtown?
I do.
What do you think about it?
I think it looks great. I mean, I think there is an improvement. There is more art.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that's been going on.
You see more diverse crowds coming together, working together, and loving and playing together downtown?
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope
I
so.
see it. I actually
do.
see it. I do see that.
Yeah, so
I see it.
I need to kind of, and now that the summer months are here, I'll be getting out more.
Yeah.
And I also made a promise to just make it to more. I'm an introvert.
I hear you.
I go to-
hear you.
I
Are
go-
you really?
Oh yeah.
You pull that off. I don't know how you pull that. You pull that
I've
off.
had to, right?
Yeah.
I'm like.
You was forced to be like, I'm an introvert, but I'm gonna be out here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I feel like I'm like an introverted extrovert or something. I'm like I have a little bit of both. Because
Right.
after these, like after work, I'm exhausted. Like
I hear you.
want to like plug
Yeah.
away from. But I'm gonna make a real commitment to this summer. To
all
get
right.
More.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Okay, DETVCH.com. I'm out of here. Make sure that you like the video, share it. Also, make sure to listen to any other podcasts that we got going on. Go on to DETVCH.com, and this will be available on iTunes on this following Monday. So check all the other ones that we have there, and all that good things. And you want to give people a word to wisdom before you leave, before you get out of here?
Vote.
One more time.
Vote. Make sure you vote and get involved in your community. Support your local folks.
That's what it is. It's your main man, Big Ive. Love someone that you don't know. Feed someone that is hungry. And most of all, forgive yourself to start tomorrow all over. It's just this crazy thing when you just say, you know what, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I was going to drop the F-bomb. I screwed up. It gives you a chance to just say, hey, I love me. Love you, and I'll see you on the other side.